Which of them were you most excited to see?
Wardley Clarke.
Eubank Jr. stopped once by Liam Smith, I think.
He's an absolute idiot.
You're not at the level of some of the top guys.
You might be IBO champion, but you're never going to win a world title.
Jai Opetaia against British fighter Jack Massey.
I'm disappointed.
He's the ring number one.
Opetaia should be fighting, trying to unify the division.
I can't see anything other than an Opetaia win. It's just whether that is just the question for me is going to be points.
A KO round 8.
Welcome back to Boxcast. In this episode, we are going to be looking at the undercard of the Bivol and Beterbiev Beterbiev and Bivol undisputed clash in Riyadh season in October the 12th, 2024. There's some interesting fights on this undercard. And shall we get straight into it? Whittaker versus Cameron. Ben Whittaker on the rise. He's had 8 fights, 8 wins, 5 of them by knockout. And he's facing Liam Cameron, who's had a fair bit more experience. It's that 29 fights, I think, of which he's won 23 and lost 6. He's older as well. He's 33, opposed to Whittaker's 27. Whittaker's slightly taller. He's 6'3", 191 centimeters, as opposed to the 6 foot of Cameron. I think this is an opportunity for Whittaker to showcase his skills. Although he can be a bit frustrating, isn't it? And this is light heavyweight as well. Oh, we missed him out. He's light heavyweight as well, isn't it?
Yeah, but he's not in nowhere near the same league as...
Yeah. Well, I think forget Bivol on Beterbiev. I think there's other guys.
The thing with Whittaker is he's making a name for himself for all his showboating and antics in the ring. Fair play to him, because it's entertaining. And he's become one of them now where you want to watch him either because you like him or you want to see him get knocked out.
Yeah. I was going to say it's a dual reason for watching.
That's what it is with him. He's super talented, super quick.
Do you think it's time now, though, that he needs to get a bit more, what's the word, professional?
I don't think he's going to.
You think he's going to stay the same showboat?
Yeah.
The showboating is good, and I think obviously for the entertainment is good, but you need to also put the pedal to the metal and get rid of some of the... At this level where he is now, if he's really a world-level fighter, get rid of some of the opponents
He's
as well.
not a world-level fighter. He's nowhere near a world-level fighter yet.
Mm-hmm. Where do you think he can get to?
At the moment, I'd say he's fringe British title level.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's sort of the level he's fighting, isn't it?
Yeah. He's fringe British title level. And, they're doing a good job of him, putting him in with the right opponent, getting him some experience, which, you've got to do. You can't just throw them straight in. But... I think if you can dent this guy's confidence, you've got a good chance of beating him.
Yeah, I think. You would expect Ben Whittaker to win in this fight.
Yeah,
but he's against somebody who knows what they're doing and they've got experience in the ring. But if Ben Whittaker is the real deal, he should win.
I don't know whether he is.
But it's what level of... Yeah, but I think that's what that's the whole point of this, is to find out. Is he just entertaining, or can he actually fight?
Everyone's saying, it's the next Nas, don't they? Is it? I don't know. He's only had 8 fights, so we've got to give him... You've got to give him his credits for... He has only had 8 fights.
Well, he has built a name in that period.
But
so
it's
he's
just
got
for
noticed.
the showboat. It is just for the showboat.
Yeah. Well, that's what I meant, isn't it? Is it time now to show that, all right, I can showboat, that's good, I've got that part, but I can also box?
I mean, this is a little step up in opposition in Cameron, but I don't think it's a massive step up. I think...
No, it's a gradual step up.
Yeah.
It's an iterative level. It is a step up.
Yeah, and that's what they're going to do with him.
I agree. I don't think he's world level yet.
No, he's got 10 or 15 fights left yet before he gets anywhere near world level. Like I say, he has only had 8 fights.
Yeah.
Let's not forget that. But he is entertaining. Watch him because it's, you know, you might like that showboating style and antics.
Well, I think, he's divisive, isn't it? Because you either like it or you just want him to get knocked out, so you'll watch it for one. But you will watch it because you want to see one or the other.
I'm 50-50 at the moment, whether I want to see him get knocked out or I like his showboat.
Well,
I don't know yet.
I think the fight, not this one against Willings or something, the one before, I've seen a bit of one or maybe the one before that, where he was really good and it was actually entertaining and things, but he was doing the showboat as part of thing. And then his last fight, he was just doing a bit of showboating just for the sake of showboating. And that was, then you were like, I hope the other guy catches him. So it's like...
Yeah, you see,
you're like,
it would be hilarious.
Yeah.
Mid-showboat.
And he nearly did.
Gets cracked.
Because I think the other guy
but I think that
elbowed him in the last one, didn't he?
Yeah.
Because he was getting frustrated and doing a little bit of...
I think he needs that. I think he needs a good crack to...
Yeah.
And maybe that's what he needs.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, but they'll build him up to that. Like I say, he's still a novice.
He's still a novice,
But I think he must probably win on points.
Yeah. He's won the last couple of points, so I think he will... I mean, I'd like to see him go for the gears and see if there's more there. Has he got that? Because he has got some KOs, but like, can he really do something? But like a Bivol type dominant, you know, punching performance.
Problem is he doesn't plant his feet.
No, he's more dancing around.
Yeah,
It's
so
like it's just the weird.
He's never planted his feet.
He's ready to come back out of range, isn't he?
But
he is quite good, but he's sometimes dangerously close to get caught. And then you're frustrating the other opponents, which is, it's good if you frustrate them in a good way, but you can also end up, that can cost you against better opponents. They'll work you out.
Watch him, he is entertaining.
It's worth watching. That's why he's on there, isn't it? Because he's entertaining.
Yeah.
And these are both British fighters, so it's an interesting contest, and he's the one on the
I think Cameron might fancy his chances against him.
Yeah, I think people, if they've got experience, you can catch them. It'd be interesting to see how Whittaker reacts to the catching, as you've said.
Yeah.
I think it'd be... this is a little bit of step up in opponents, so it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, we'll see.
So, there's that one. Next is the ladies' fight. I think you're going to speak a bit about.
Yeah,
Nicholson versus Chapman
WBC Featherweight Championship.
Featherweight, yep.
Is it the first women's fight on Riyadh season?
I think it is.
So, fair dues.
At least Riyadh season in Riyadh.
Yeah.
I think it's the first women's one. I think there was one in the States one.
Yeah. So, no, it's fantastic for women's boxing. I think they're going to see how that goes. I could possibly see in the future a full women's Riyadh season, depending. Although I do think the women's boxing, there was a big hype about it a couple of years ago. There was a lot of noise about it, and there doesn't seem to be as much now.
It seems to have quietened down a bit, the hype about it. Because there was some of the boxes were getting bigged up a bit. And then it seems to be just the same ones that stayed. I think it's something like, it's like when you get a stale division in the men's, I don't know if it's enough new talent to come through to where they're big enough to sell the shows.
Hopefully
this is a good advert for it, and it pushes it up. And it's on a really good undercard, so hopefully it won't be disappointing.
We'll see. But no, it's great that they've got women's boxing.
I think it is the first
Saudi.
in Riyadh. I mean, let us know in the comments if you're wrong on that, but I believe it's the first one in Riyadh. Well, we've done most of the Riyadh season. I think it is the first women's one on a direct in Riyadh fight.
I'd be dead. I don't know much about them, but I just think it's really... because I think that there has
we're more the Katie Hill and Amanda Serrano type. We watched some of their fights.
I think that a lot's been made about Riyadh and women's boxing, but it's good that they've put it on there, and
it'd be interesting to see how it goes, how it's taken, and how it's supported, and and hopefully it's a really good fight, and we will
watch
that
space, because there are some huge women's fights out there, and the women's fights that I have watched, like you say, Chantel Cameron and Katie Taylor.
They're usually not boring.
They are superb fights. I mean, there was one on last night. Terry Harper, and again, they just go to war. Yeah. So,
it could be one of the better fights on the card. Potentially.
I mean, the Katie Taylor Amanda Serrano fighting in New York that time was just
fantastic. Epic fight.
So yeah, it's great.
So we're not going to make a prediction because we don't know enough about them, do we? Unless you have one where I don't know.
I think Nichols will win on points anyway.
I'm not. I don't know.
She's
I
quite
don't
a
want to make a prediction on something.
Quite a classy boxer.
Yeah. Okay, next one. Your favourite boxer. Chris Eubank Jr. versus Szeremeta. Well, before you... I'm going to give my prediction right at the beginning. I think Szeremeta is going to win because I have to upset one. And so that's my one. This is the one I'm picking for my upset. But I have a good reasoning behind it as well. But let's give you a little bit of info. Okay, so Chris Eubank Jr. has had 36 fights. He's won 33 and lost 3. And I hope I'm saying his name correctly. Szeremeta, his Polish fighter, has had 29 fights, I think, and 25 wins, 2 losses, and 2 draws. I think I should put in though that his 2 losses were to Gennady Golovkin and Jaime Munguia. So they are very, very good boxers. Eubank is 35. Szeremeta is 34. Chris Eubank Jr. is a little bit taller. He's 5'11", 180 centimeters. Szeremeta is 5'9", 176. Reach, I think Eubank Jr. has a slight advantage. And they're both orthodox stance. Eubank Jr. stopped once by Liam Smith, I think, and Szeremeta's been stopped twice, I think once by Golovkin and by Munguia.
Retired,
yeah, well, pulled out, wasn't it? Eubank Jr. is ranked on some of the middleweight levels, although he's quite high up on the middle levels. He's around about the 5th, 7th, 3rd, 5th, so, in the middle of that rankings. I know you love to talk about Chris Eubank Jr. So what are your thoughts?
The only person that
I've already picked Szeremeta by.
The only person that likes to talk about Chris Eubank Jr. is Chris Eubank Jr.
What are you? Well, we're not going to go into it, but what are your thoughts on what he's come out with? Like how he reacted and did what he did in his press conference thing.
Oh, he's an idiot.
I think he upset a lot of people.
He's an absolute idiot. Like you say, I don't think he was happy he's on the bottom table and he needs to make a name for himself. And you know what? He's good at doing that.
To be fair, I was going to say he has got a lot of news has come his way. Yeah. The focus has shifted a lot. So
he goes on that he's going to fight Canelo, Gennady Golovkin, Triple G, and no, you're not. You're never going to win a world title. You might be IBO champion, but you're never going to win a world title.
It's difficult to see at middleweight, isn't it?
Hamza Shiraz would absolutely bounce him from pillar to post.
There are quite a lot of really good fighters.
And he'll never take that fight because he knows it.
Yeah.
He's 35 years of age. I get it. He wants the big fights. Money talks. But
he has a name. And he's unreasonably okay. But you're not at the level of some of the top guys.
Every time he stepped up, he's been
found wanting.
Yeah. He should have had way more fights than he's actually had.
Yeah.
I
mean, he's had quite a lot, but to be honest, I didn't know his age. I've just looked at him.
Yeah, I was
nearly going to say, Szeremeta is the more experienced older guy. I looked across the front, he's a year older. What do you think happens in this? Like I said, I've already put on Szeremeta. I've just got to think, what am I going to say? I think Szeremeta KO round 9.
I really hope so.
Right down.
I hope so, but I don't see it happening. I think be a boring point win for Eubank Jr.
Okay. So you're going to put that on your thing? Yeah. Leave mine as a
boring
KO.
Capital B. Yeah. But thing with Eubank Jr. is he's in Saudi now. If he properly entertains and does a great performance,
then he will. He will get into one of those fights.
Yeah,
he'll get at least a chance, isn't it?
But the thing is he'll negotiate his money with His Excellency, and he'll want 650 million for fighting someone and whatever.
You could see him. The thing is, you could see him in one of these conferences. If Canelo wants 200 million to fight Benavidez, I want 250 million to fight.
That's what I mean.
You know.
I mean, it's still. I mean, there is fights out there for him. I think Hamza Shiraz, Chris Eubank Jr. That's the fight I want to see. Forget the Conor Benn fight. Because I just want to see Shiraz just destroy him. And I think Shiraz does destroy him. And I think Chris Eubank Jr. knows that.
Yeah, I don't see it going beyond halfway. I think it'd be a fairly short fight. I think he has the power. I think he's got the skill is higher level. Is a different level. I think the power is a different level.
But I'm not looking forward to watching that fight. I don't think I will watch it. No, I will. But I just don't like Chris Eubank Jr. I never have. I think he's far too.
Well, let's So you've done your decision. Let's have a look. Right, to become world champion, you've got to face a guy. We're going to do another video. Hopefully, if he fights, is Janibek Alamhanouli, who's 15-0, who is Kazakh style and pretty damn good. You've got Adames, who's pretty good, Cuban, I think, isn't it? And things. Or Hamza Shiraz, who's the third ranked. Again, I don't think he beats him. Erislandy Lara, I don't think he beats him. Age may play a factor, but I don't think Eubank's a spring chicken. And I've seen Lara's last fight, and he looks like he's got plenty. His boxing level is higher than Eubank's.
He doesn't deserve a world title shot.
Yeah, I would give any of them. Shiraz is ahead of that on that list, ahead of him. You got Nur Sultanov, who's unbeaten, who's another Kazakh, is quite tough. And Liam Smith, I think now is getting to the end, but he's still there. And obviously, they've had their fight. Okay, that was fine.
Eubank Jr. ain't going to fight any of them fighters.
Yeah.
Unless it's for millions and millions. I'm going to sound like proper, just like a pick on Eubank Jr., but he is at that stage of his career where he's only going to fight for mega money. And he's not a big enough name for the likes of Canelos, and even back then with your Triple Gs and things like that. He's not a big enough name for them to take him on. He just isn't.
Do you even think that they'd think he's a big enough challenge? Because I think they'd wipe the floor with him.
Unless the Saudis said, right, you're fighting Chris Eubank Jr. and there's so many millions, then they'll take it because they're getting the so many millions.
I mean, they'll know who he is because of his dad and stuff.
Yeah.
So and obviously he's had a fight to be
but
around.
I just don't think.
But in that division, or any of the ones that are above or around, do you think he beats? He's only Liam Smith, and then the ones maybe below that, but none of them are big enough names.
No.
Really is. You're fighting any of those ones, and even Sultanov, any of the two Kazakhs or any of the others, I think all of them beat him. I don't think he beats any of them.
No. I give up. No, I'd like to say. I think,
and he's stepping up to Canelo.
I think the biggest
beating Canelo. I don't think he beats a Hani Munguir or a Benavidez or any of these guys.
I think the biggest fight out there
Belanga,
for him,
I don't think he beats him either. All of them beat him.
Is Shiraz?
Yeah, British class on one of these big cards.
Yeah.
And I think that'd be a good fight for Shiraz as well.
And it would be a good fight for Chris Eubank Jr. because if he did win it,
then we can go, well, all right.
Oh, do you know what, mate?
We'll eat our humble pie and go, yeah, all right, you are actually something.
Yeah.
Don't think it's going to happen.
No,
I think Shiraz wipes the floor with him, but
yeah, that's, he is what he is. He's
don't get me wrong, he's a good boxer, he's got a thing, but I think the problem with him is it's like the Teofimo effect. They think they're better than they are. Yeah. And
at least Teofimo has backed up a lot of his things.
Yeah.
Chris Eubank Jr.
Teofimo still has the record because he's been the world champion. He's been undisputed in all the bits and pieces. He's had those things. Yeah, Eubank hasn't. And like you said, in world title fights, even at middleweight, which is his weight, who are those guys does he beat?
None of them.
You've got Janibek with 2 belts, Adames with 1, and Erislandy Lara, and I don't see him beating any of them.
No. I wouldn't fight them anyway.
Yeah. And you're jumping up to super middleweight. Well, like I said, forget Canelo. forget Canelo, Jaime Munguia,
Beat him.
Berlanga,
Beat
you
him.
know, and there's a load of others through the list.
Now,
And Billy, Pacheco, Caleb Plant, Shishkin, you know, Bazinian, all of them. Don't think these in that class.
I don't think he'd fight them either.
Yeah. So then it's who do you think he fights? Shiraz is really the only one. It's a really good fight for either side, isn't it? I mean, you could fight Lara or you could fight Adamas.
I think the problem is he is only in this game for money.
Yeah.
I don't think he really cares about world titles. I know he might say he does. I don't think he does. I think he's in this game for money. And
but if you're a Canelo and you're near the end of your thing,
you're not going to give him money.
Do you care about fighting about him?
No.
So
who's going to turn up for that fight in Mexico? No one. They're going to be like, who? Because they're not being funny in Mexico. They're going to say, oh, he's fighting Chris Eubank Jr.
Actually, I was looking at who he's been beaten.
And they're going to go, who's Chris Eubank Jr.?
Yeah.
Because in Mexico, he's not a name.
Yeah, well, he's not.
He's not a name outside the UK, really.
Let me see just where Eubank. Because obviously one of his defeats is to
Billy Joe Saunders.
Yeah.
George Groves.
Yeah.
Liam Smith. Every time he stepped up,
he
was lucky he didn't get Callum Smith, because Callum Smith had just destroyed him.
Yeah. And, yeah, okay.
No,
so
don't rate him.
So we just repeat the predictions. Then I've got Szeremeta KO round 9, isn't it?
I really hope that comes off.
But you've got Eubank Jr. by points.
I think he'll do late
decision.
stoppage or points. But there you go.
So you're going by points, isn't it? Because you think boring points win.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, no problem. And then let's go back to a slightly more interesting fight. Jai Opetaia, so cruiserweight fight against British fighter Jack Massey.
Yeah.
This is an interesting fight. Haven't seen that much of Massey, but he is quite a good fighter from what little I've seen. But we know Opetaia because we've bigged him up on here before.
I'm disappointed.
In this?
Yeah.
Well, you know, when I seen the name, I was, but then I looked a bit into Massey's.
No, I'm still disappointed.
I think he's quite a dangerous opponent. Let me give you a bit of the
I get him. And, he's fought up at heavyweight against Joe Parker and things, but
he's a big guy, yeah.
Opetaia should be trying to unify the division.
Mm-hmm.
He should have got the Chris Billum-Smith fight, or...
Well, I think they had it with Ramirez, isn't it? That's going to come up. So I think then he may go on to the winner of that to get, isn't it? But anyway, so Opetaia's 25 fights, 25 wins. Massey's 24 fights, 22 wins and 2 losses. Opetaia's 29. Massey's 31, so they're similar. Height-wise, Opetaia's slightly taller, 6'3", 191. And Massey is 6'2", 188. Although I think that might be slightly wrong from Box Live. I think they're about the same height.
Yeah.
I think Opetaia has a slight reach advantage of a couple of inches. He's 76 inches, 193 against 74. I think that is correct. Opetaia is a southpaw and Massey's an orthodox. Of the 25 wins, 19 have been by KO, so it's a 76% for Opetaia. So he's a bit of an apex predator. And Massey's has got 12 out of his 22 wins, so he's got a 55% thing. He's never been stopped, though, which is the interesting part for me.
He has been down, though.
I think he's been down once, if I remember. Maybe more in earlier ones, but...
I think he was down in round 10 against...
So his losses were unanimous decisions.
He was down in round 10 against...
Well, I think that was one of his losses, in it? And that's what is given him...
Was it Parker? No, it was the other guy. I've forgotten the other guy's name. Oh, it's gone out my head.
Yeah, I'm just going to try and find him on here.
Yeah, I've forgotten.
Yeah, Joe Parker. It's fought at.
Who else did he lose to?
And he lost to Riakporhe. That's where he got down in the 10th round, isn't it?
Yeah. think Opetaia taking 4 or 5 rounds to get him out of there.
Do you?
Yeah.
You don't know.
I think they're just keeping Opetaia busy. That's no offense to Jack Massey, but
yeah, I think that as good as Massey is, I think it's a tough opponent, but I think it's not the class level of Opetaia.
No,
I think he's a level above, and I don't think Massey's a Mario Breedis. So is it Mario Breedis? He's not that level. I've got his first name.
No, I think Opetaia needs to get through.
Maris Breedis.
Yeah. No, it is a good fight, but I think
it's an interesting fight. I think it's a good. But I think I agree. I think it's like keeping Opetaia warm. It's not a level where it's boring, but it is somebody. But you could see him if he goes through the gears a bit. I think you could get him out within 6 rounds. What did you say? 4?
Yeah, I think he'll win in the 4th. Are they waiting for the other Cruiserweight champions to fight each other so they can have another undisputed?
Well, I think they are, and I think there'll probably be a unification one. Like I said, I think they're all fragmented in Cruiserweight, if I remember correctly.
Well, you got Chris Billum-Smith, who's the WBA, I want to say.
Let me tell you. Well, the IBF is Opetaia.
Yeah.
Billum-Smith is WBO.
Okay, WBO.
Ramirez is the WBA. So but I think they're only fighting for 1 belt when they fight, but maybe both of them. And then there's Mikhailian, isn't it? The one we discussed last time. So I think they're going to do a bit of Ramirez. Zerdo is fighting Billum-Smith. So they're going to unify. So maybe that Opetaia goes after Mikhailian. WBC unification. Although he's nowhere in that list.
No, you see,
the WBC list looks a bit funny.
I'd have Opetaia fighting the winner of Chris Billum-Smith.
Yeah, and it may be that way, and then they go to do the undisputed. But obviously the bigger names there are Ramirez and Billum-Smith. So Opetaia, you would probably pick them over Mikhailian. Because Ramirez has only lost to Bivol, as we've said in our Bivol one. Billum-Smith's loss was to... It's gone. Who did Billum-Smith lose to?
Richard Riakbo.
Yeah. Oh,
but he avenged.
Yeah, he avenged it in the second fight. Yeah, I was just trying to remember. I know he's...
No, but Opetaia, I mean, I am an Opetaia fan.
He's the ring number 1.
I think he needs get this fight out the way and then, yeah. Although, like you say, I did hear over 12 months ago that the winner of Beterbiev Bivol will be fighting Opetaia.
Well, there's been rumours for a bit, isn't it? While they were trying to get that fight ready. I think it also maybe because the Bivol Beterbiev was supposed to happen before, and I think this was supposed to probably be something like that, the step-up fight. I think they've got to give him a fight because obviously the other fight's been delayed because of the injury to Beterbiev. So,
I mean, you know what you're going to get with Opetaia, don't you? He's like...
It's going to be a performance.
Yeah, he's fast, quick-handed. And
he's got the power.
Yeah. I don't think Jack Massey... It sounds horrible because I'm really not giving Jack Massey any hope whatsoever. I just can't see anything.
I can see Opetaia winning. It's the only thing is, do you think, because obviously Massey's not been KO'd, do you think by KO or do you think by points? And you've said already,
I think maybe that's why he's been picked for Opetaia. His luck. If you stop this guy, wow, because he hasn't. Joe Parker couldn't stop him, and
and Joe Parker's
a lump
was about 20-30 pounds heavier a heavyweight than him.
So I think Opetaia will want to put on a show as well.
Mm-hmm. But
yeah, I just can't see anything but an Opetaia win. And
I can't see anything other than an Opetaia win. It's just whether that is just the question for me is going to be points. I think he outboxes him anyway. As good as Massey is, I think Opetaia is a levels a bit.
I mean, Jack Massey's got nothing to lose.
Yeah.
He really, really hasn't. And if Opetaia takes his eye off the ball even slightly,
he's got the power.
Yeah,
and especially cruiserweight, you're going to be big and you've got power. I mean, he's not overly heavy-handed, but he can hit. And I think he's also got he hasn't been stopped. And I think that's really the question, is it opportunity for Opetaia to stop him?
Yeah, but so I'd like I say, I'm a fan of Opetaia, so I'm glad that he's back fighting, but I think he needs a big step up now.
Yeah, I think after this...
Big step up. We fought Bradis. That was a great fight.
But both of them with him were great. I think, you need to have the winner of Ramirez and Dylan Smith.
And I think...
And then a unification fight. And then, probably... Or a unification
just
against the other guy
if
and then another one
are these...
And then maybe an undisputed, I think.
I think all the... It could go down to... Because there's talk of another 5v5, isn't there? Mm-hmm. Matchroom, Queensbury.
Well, there'll be a plan.
Chris Billum-Smith isn't Queensbury, is he?
No, because he was on the other...
He's on Boxer now. It's all right, so just ignore me, I'm just talking rubbish. Because I was thinking, he might be on the 5v5. Unless you do a Boxer versus Matchroom. I can't see that happening. I don't know. But... He needs to unify the division after this, anyway. Well,
I think he needs to get a unification belt and then either fight the winner of Ramirez and Billum-Smith, so then whoever's unified there have that, or either go for them and then go for undisputed afterwards. But I think there'll probably be a plan to go for undisputed.
Or move up to heavyweight.
Well, I think he'd want to do the undisputed first and then do Emulate Arm and Alexander Usyk.
We shall see. But yeah, interesting. No, look forward to seeing him back out and hopefully another knockout. Because that's what
I'm going to go for a knockout as well, round 7.
7? Mm-hmm. Bit long,
I'm
innit?
higher than you. Huh?
Bit long, innit?
Yeah. I want to see a bit of boxing. I enjoy watching Opetaia.
No,
it's probably going to be a 1-round win, I can see him doing that as well if he gets caught. But Massey's tough, so I think it's going to be one-sided, but fairly one-sided. But I think he'll break him down. I don't think it's going to be quick one or too quick. All right, and then we've got a rematch. Fabio Wardley. Yeah, and number 2. Fabio Wardley and Frazer Clarke, which was a draw before. So this is the rematch. It was a split decision draw. Probably a fair result in that, I think, would have said.
Yeah.
It was one way, then another way.
It was a good fight, to be fair.
It was a very good fight. And I think a good heavyweight clash to have on there. And still looking at a draw. I'm not sure one goes one way or the other. Because both of them did well. One was better, and then the other one switched to being better, and it's still...
I think it comes down to...
Who wants it more?
No. What did it take out of him?
In the last one. Because it was a tough fight.
It was a properly war.
Yeah, it's close bidding on this, but it slightly favours Fabio Wardley. 58% on, well, nearly 59. 58.8 to 41.2. Slightly favours his side. Yeah, if I was going to pick one, I would be slightly favouring Fabio Wardley, but only.
See, I'd be picking Frazer Clarke.
Okay. Cool. We like that.
I think Frazer Clarke I think he's only had 8-9 fights.
Mm-hmm.
I think he'd have
learned
learned
10th, I think,
a lot more. I think he's learned a lot from that fight, and I think he'll learn more than Frazer Clarke learned from it.
You mean Fabio Wardley?
Sorry, Fabio Wardley.
What are the ages? Oh yeah, he's the young.
Frazer Clarke's 33, is he?
Yeah.
And what's Ward? I think they're the same age.
29. Well, that's why I'm a bit more favouring, because he's a slightly younger one, so I think size-wise they're basically the same. Clarke's got an inch in height, so 2 centimetres in height. Other than that, they're both pretty similar. They're both orthodox. They both got the same reach, 78 inches, 198 centimetres. Wardley's 6'5", 196. Clarke is 6'6", 198, and then he's 29. Wardley, Clarke is 33. he was basically his 18 fights, so 17 wins, 1 draw, and Clarke is 9 fights, 8 wins, 1 draw. The draw obviously being the first version of this fight.
But it's a 50-50. I think it's another 50-50 fight. Though,
I think Clarke has that slight bit more robustness. I think, and the will, and like you said, he doesn't want to lose. I think Wardley's just got that slight bit more skill. And that's why and he's slightly younger, is why I'm edging it towards him. But I think it's going to be like, what did I use last time? 49.99 and 15.01. I think this is like the same as the main headline fight.
I don't think it will go the full distance this time.
You think somebody's going to get
KO'd? I think someone's getting KO'd this time. And I think the winner moves on to big things after this. I think the Frazer Minden.
Well, I think both of them have done from the first fight. Both of them, the reputation's good. Whoever wins, I think is owed a step up, or deserves a step up. I think even the loser should get another go, because I think they're both being.
Oh, do I think Clarke? No, I don't know. What do I think Wardley? But
I'm going to go for Wardley by points in a majority decision.
I can't pick.
To sit on the fence, that's about quite close.
Really can't.
You got to pick Clarke now, but pick how you think he's going to win.
No, because I don't know whether I think
I think it's going to be again really close. I think Wardley will just edge it.
So you think Wardley on points?
Majority decision.
I'm going.
I think it's going to be that close. So
a KO round 8.
Okay.
But I don't know who for.
So just a KO round 8.
It's going to be a KO in round 8, but I don't know who it's going to be.
We'll accept that one, isn't it?
I genuinely don't know who it's going to be. But I tell you something, if it's anything like the last fight,
it's a really good warm-up fight for the main fight, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a really good fight in itself.
But if it's anything like the last fight, it takes a lot out of you.
It's attritional.
Fights.
Yeah.
It really takes a lot out of you.
Yeah, that's why I'm hoping they still got a bit in them.
You can't have too many of them fights in your career.
No.
You really can't.
As much as it's entertaining for us, for the well-being of the boxers, I think you don't want to have too many of those.
No.
I think it's just going to be who makes the better adjustments and who steps up. I mean, the thing is in heavyweight, you can always have, if you get caught, I think both of them have got good chins, but like it does take a lot out of you. So if they get caught, it can go either way. I think if it carries on as it is, I just slightly favour Wardley.
I've wrote KO round 8 in Wardley's box, slightly, like half, just over halfway over.
Just halfway over, okay. So both edging towards, but you can see, but we'll let you have both. So if it's a Clarke KO, we'll give you that as well.
I will change my mind closer to the time, guarantee it.
I think when you see him coming out, sometimes you change it because you see the look of their eyes and how they are prepared for it. But I think it's a really good, like, even fight to go to the main even fight.
It's a really good
to
fight.
The Bivol Beterbiev fight.
Because, like I say, the first fight was really good. And
I think this is close as well. That's why I'm going for there. Like I said, my upset one was the Eubank one. I'm going for Szeremeta, and then I think Whittaker should have enough, and Opetaia should have enough. Although I think it's going to be a bit of a tougher fight.
Okay.
And that is that. So let us know what you think.
That is Riyadh season.
That is Riyadh season October. I think the actual upcoming Cruiserweight one is Riyadh season November, which is going to be Ramirez and Billum Smith. I don't know if that's going to be the headline at the moment. It looks like I don't know what the undercard is, but I think that'll. I don't know if it's been released yet, but So it'd be good if that goes, and then they get Opetaia versus the winner. That would be quite a cool thing. Which of them are you most excited to see?
Wardley Clarke.
I think it's an even fight,
because
I'm as a fighter, I'm most excited to see Opetaia.
Let's not forget that I was disappointed because Shakur was on there against.
Then it would have been an epic card.
Joe Cordina.
Yeah,
but he had to pull out, unfortunately.
Yeah, that is a shame because then it would be a real epic card.
Yeah.
But I think that's, the fight as a fight, Wardley versus Clarke is really good. I think for the fighter on the undercards, Opetaia.
Because the thing is let Beterbiev Bivol.
Is so...
You don't need an undercard.
Yeah, to be honest, he didn't. We'd still watch it.
You really, really did.
But I think this, like I said, I think this is really good matchmaking. You've got a really close fight leading up to the main fight.
Yeah,
and obviously it's heavyweight, which is anything can happen in that.
Yeah. No, I look forward to it.
So this is on October the 12th. It's in Riyadh season. It's on the undercard of Bivol Beterbiev, which obviously we watch our video on that. And let us know what you think. Let us know what you think of these. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Are we talking rubbish? And who do you think they should fight and come up and fight? And what would you like to see? And thank you very much for watching and listening. And we will see you in the next one.
See you soon.